Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about respectful engagement, and it is presented by myself, Elle Sitjar. So I conducted a mini experiment. These were my preparation steps. What is the outcome you are trying to achieve? Provide some background information on the context. With whom did you work with and why? What action steps did you plan to take to conduct your experiment? And what are your measures of success? What is the outcome you are trying to achieve? I'd like to have my daughter get in the habit of being honest. Provide some background information on the context. I have had some issues with my daughter telling the truth, so I'd like her to understand that lying doesn't get her out of trouble, it actually gets her into more trouble. With whom did you work with and why? My daughter Amelia, she's 4.5 years old. I saw this as an opportunity to help her with being honest and to teach her that she can trust myself and my husband with anything. What action steps did you plan to take to conduct your experiment? Well, I reflected on our past experiences with her lying and how I would usually approach the situation. I found that I would actually react more to her lying than what she was trying to lie about or keep hidden from us. What are your measures of success? I believe that learning to take a step back to assess the situation before I react would be a huge step forward for me, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. The execution. How did you approach the scenario? What happened according to each measure of success? And what specific behaviors did you observe? And were there any surprises or insights? So how did I approach the scenario? I asked her why she felt like she had to lie, and her answer was simple. She thought that she would get into more trouble if she was honest. What happened according to each measure of success? I reacted less and listened more to what she was trying to communicate. She was afraid of getting into trouble, so I made her feel comfortable and safe before I asked her what happened. What specific behaviors did you observe? I noticed that she was more willing to approach me with a problem she was having. She was also less frustrated with herself when she couldn't do something on her own, when she would ask for help. Were there any surprises or insights? I believe that she felt like she was heard. I learned that the best way that I can teach her is by showing her how I react when things are challenging. And reflection. How were you thinking and feeling during the interactions? What 1 to 2 insights did you learn about high quality connections? And what 1 to 2 ideas do you have to implement high quality connections in the future? How can you apply it when you're on the receiving end and compare this approach with your previous experiment using appreciative inquiry and the feedback you have received? So this is how I was feeling. I felt she was frustrated with herself in her own mind. She was already disappointed in herself, and I didn't want to add to that kind of those feelings and those emotions. If I just told her what she shouldn't have done instead of just being there for her, it would have gone differently. What 1 to 2 insights did you learn about high quality connections? I learned that conveying presence was really beneficial to this way of parenting. By allowing myself to get down on her level, it showed her that I was there for her in the moment, and really seemed to help her clear her head. Communicating affirmation was also another thing that she benefited from. I would say things like, "Oh, that must be frustrating. I would be upset too." Then we would talk about it, and then we would talk about what we should practice next time we get frustrated. What 1 to 2 ideas do you have to implement high quality connections in the future? Being genuine is a huge one for me. I believe that it is important. It is just as important as being intentional with listening and engaging in conversation. Expressing recognition will also be beneficial in other situations, such as cleaning her room. She deserves the recognition for that more than just good job. She usually gets a sticker and I tell her something that I liked about how she cleaned it. For example, "Oh, Emmy, I love how you lined up all your stuffed animals on your bed. They look like they're going to greet you when you're ready for bed." And how can you apply it when you're on the receiving end? I should work on effective listening. I should always be willing to receive criticism and feedback and improve on my own behaviors. Compare this approach with your previous experiment using appreciative inquiry and the feedback you have received. I have learned that I should trust my gut and listen to my maternal instincts. I should also be slow to react harshly, and I need to be more open-minded with myself and with my children. Thank you. Thank you for listening.